So there are over 350 characters in MCoC, and while I'm very positive with a lot of them, and there are plenty of different champions that I enjoy, I rank a lot of different champs that a lot of people probably have not even considered ranking before. There are quite a few in this game that I just genuinely despise, whether it be for one reason or another, and today I'm going to pick 5 champions in MCoC that I just have an undeniable hatred towards, and try to explain to you why I have that hatred. And without further ado, we'll go ahead and get into the list. And my number 5 pick for the 5th most hated character to me is Photon. And this is the only character on the list that's purely here because of defense. She is my least favorite defender to fight in the entire game, and it's actually not even close. There's the undexable aspect of the fight when she gets into pure light. Like, I will just screw up constantly, and that's why I love characters who just make it to where you can either dex her specials in pure light or make it very difficult for her to get to pure light at all. That's why Mr. Knight, Dazzler, 2 of my favorite counters, because they do those 2 things to fight Photon. But if she goes into pure light and I don't have a character who's going to have some advantage in that mode, I'm just going to lose a lot of health because of block damage or just eating the special to the face in general. And yeah, it's just, I understand that, like, if she didn't have the anti-dex, if she didn't turn off your dex mastery, I actually don't think she'd be a hard defender at all. It's just the fact that she does makes her actually the most irritating defender in the game to me. Like, there are quite a few defenders who turn off dex, but the way she does it is the worst in my opinion. And again, if she didn't do that, she probably wouldn't be hard. I just think she would need a different defender design entirely at that point if she was going to get rid of the anti-dex. So yeah, like, I don't really have any hatred towards her using her on attack. She's not a champion that I really used on attack ever, or like to use on attack. I don't have any incentive to really play her on attack. I know a lot of people do, but I don't. But it's defense mainly that is the reason she's on this list, and it's the only person on this list that is here because of defense mainly. So we're gonna move on from number 5 to number 4. And my number 4, a champion that actually just got reborn, and it reminded me how much I actually hate this guy, is Archangel. And it's just like, I don't want to lose a BG's round because I lost to Parry Heavy, the character, on my opponent's side of the ball. It's just like, if you can't place a defender that's bleed or poison immune or just has some way to stop him from placing neuros, you're just gonna lose probably, because he's just gonna turn off the defender's abilities. He's gonna do it extremely fast, and it's just Parry Heavy, the character, and it just feels really dumb to lose a BG's round that way. But even outside of BG's, like, I think this guy is really cheap. I'm not a huge fan of champions who just completely turn off defender kits, as you're gonna see with other champions I have on this list later on. And just champions who are very boring to play, but extremely good. And that's kind of just exactly what Archangel is. Again, Parry Heavy, the character, he kind of just turns off the game with Parry Heavy. And, like, BG's is probably his worst game mode, because in other game modes you can take him into scenarios that are a lot more in your control and just shut off the defender that way. If you can place around him, like, I draft around Archangel all the time in BG's now if I know I'm leaving him unbanned, and I will ban him quite a bit. Luckily, there's a lot more characters in the game now that he isn't good against that are placed on defense, but still, there's just so many characters that he just kind of says, haha, I'm going to make it to where you can't do anything. There are definitely some characters in the game that you can make an argument have the ability shut-off mechanics on attack that I actually do enjoy playing, but none to the extent of Archangel, and actually my number 3 pick, which is Nico Minoru. And a bit of a broken record at this point, I've made an entire video on why I hate Nico, but as far as, like, shutting off defender kits, she does this to the most extreme level, in my opinion. And I've heard people say, like, don't you enjoy playing a lot of other Mystics who do that? And it's just, I don't think any Mystic does it the way Nico does. Like, sure, there's going to be Mystics who are just going to run over the big 4 Cosmic Defenders, and of course I mean Serpent, Dark Phoenix, Thanos, and Maestro when I say the big 4. But she just makes it almost effortless with one simple mechanic in buff immunity. And of course there's a little bit more going into that, like the Hulk's very useful against Thanos. The Hulk's, I guess, I don't even think you need the halt against Dark Phoenix, but it's there, I guess. But buff immunity is just a dumb mechanic. It's not even just, like, the whole cosmic side of things, cosmic defender side of things. Like, it's the best way to counter buffs from nodes. It's the best way to counter buffs that are on champions that aren't even cosmic. And she even, like, her primary damage source is poison, which is a very good damage source to have because it's direct damage. And if you're fighting someone who's immune or resistant to it, just boop the incinerate button instead. Or if you're fighting a cosmic, you don't even need to because she has the acid burn replacement, which just, again, like, it's so irritating the way this kit is designed, because, like, you look at Dr. Voodoo, who's clearly worse than her, but also still a cool champion, but he doesn't have any acid burn replacement when he's trying to poison the opponent down too. And even if he did have the acid burn replacement, he still probably wouldn't get a lot more play than he actually does now. And then, yeah, I don't know. I just think buff immunity is stupid, and when you see Claire's 7-star release get delayed so much, and then you realize how much better Nico's buff immunity is than Claire's, like, as soon as she comes out, that's another thing that just rubs me the wrong way. There's just so much about this champion that rubs me the wrong way. I actually do like her defensive design, but that's about it. Okay, number two. We are actually in, like, these champions are the spawn of Satan for me at this point. And, geez, I cannot find him. Okay, here he is. It's Hobgoblin. This guy's been in the game for less than 2 months as of the time of recording this, and he actually infuriates me beyond belief. Like, I cannot express how much this champion irritates me. And this is also the first champion on the list, and one of the... Not the only... Actually, we're gonna get to it later. He's the only champion on the list so far that is actually, like, trash. He's, like, one of the worst characters in the entire game, and I hate him for that. And it's the opposite of the other 3 characters. I hated Nico and Archangel because they're OP on attack, and then Photon because of... I wouldn't say she's OP on defense, but just dealing with her on defense. This guy sucks. He is horrible. He is the worst character to come into the game on release in over 4 years. And I'll get to why I think that with actually an honorable mention character we have. But, he's just, like, a worse version of so many other tech characters. Like, we got Jack-o'-lantern 2 years ago. We got Ironheart. I don't know if it was the same year or 3 years ago. Something like that. And they're just better than him in pretty much every single way. Like, I just don't understand how this guy is as bad as he is. Like, even the simple things, like, Jack can parry non-contact whenever he wants. Ironheart can do it whenever she has her armor up, I believe. Or maybe whenever she wants to. And the armor up you just always have. And this guy needs to build up a resource to get it. Jack can he block unblockables? I don't actually know. I know Ironheart can, from unblockable attacks against mutants. He has to build it up with a resource. Jack is immune to inverting controls. Ironheart is immune to inverting controls, extremely fast in the fight. This guy has to work for it with a resource. Not to mention, he has actually one of the worst playstyles in the entire game, where you have to charge your heavy attack into a special cancel, which my phone doesn't even let me do half the time, because it's just something with my phone where I can't use charge heavy cancel into special characters very much, because the special button just doesn't work for me. But even if you could, like, he's not even giving the opponent infuriate like Beta Ray Bill does to make them want to run into the heavy attack more. He doesn't have an unblockable for a safety net if you did it and they were blocking still. It's just like harder to play him than any other character who wants to do that charge heavy special cancel kind of guy. And him, you have to actually charge it for a certain period of time. It's not even like CGR where you can just do it for like a half a second and then go right into the special. You have to actually activate this guy's lunatic laugh or whatever the hell it is. And yeah, I think this is genuinely like one of the most hateable characters that's been released in past 5 years because of how absolutely garbage he is. And yeah, that's all I have to say about Hobgoblin. Anyway, that was a fun rant to get off my chest. We're actually going to do 2 honorable mentions before we get to number 1. And the first one I'm going to say is, my first honorable mention is M'Baku. And when I was talking about how Hobgoblin is the worst character on release in the past 4 years, this guy was actually the worst character on release in 4 years until Hobgoblin happened, in my opinion. Actually, I was talking with my Alliance about this. We had an actual conversation on our Discord server, or the Alliance Discord server. We were trying to go see how far back we could go to find a character who, on release, was as bad as M'Baku. And we went as far back to Misty Knight, was the first character that we think was as bad on release of the champion as M'Baku is. That's 4 years ago, which is pretty impressive. And to be honest, this guy, he has some decent utility pieces, but his damage is so terrible that it doesn't even matter. You can use like any other skill champ with less utility pieces, and you'll just have a better success with it. And the whole reason his damage sucks, in my opinion, is because he has no way to counter the Inequity Mastery, and all of his targets are spamming Inequity on you, that being Spider-Woman, High Evo. They're just spamming the Inequity Mastery, making it to where your damage is not going to be able to kill in one rotation, whereas if the Mastery didn't exist, you probably could kill them in one rotation, and thus he'd actually be kind of decent. But when you're getting your attack rating reduced by 36%, especially when you're fighting the Science class, which pretty much every single Science defender does this now, and you have no way of dealing with it, like his Purify is terrible. Like, he has some Purify in his kit, it's awful. I don't even remember how it works, how useless it is. And then, of course, severe debuffs being on the rise now. He has no endurance or any way of getting rid of those. It's just really hard to be a skill champion dealing with the Inequity Mastery when every single Science champion is spamming 36% attack rating reduction on you. And yeah, if he actually turned it off, like some other skill champions do now, I think he'd actually be kind of decent, because you could kill things in one cycle. But if the Inequity Mastery is in play, you're not killing things in one cycle. That's what sucks about M'Baku, and one of the reasons I hate him so much. And my second honorable mention, it's just, I hope you expected this guy to be on this list, because I want to think that I made an impact in the Adam Warlock hatred train back a long time ago. I have videos on my channel called Professional Adam Warlock Hater Takes Adam to Necropolis, and while I actually don't hate him as much as I used to, he still needs to be on this list because he has one of the most infuriating playstyles in the entire game. And it's just like, you're starting your rotation, and you need to go do intercepts a lot, because once you start your rotation, you can't parry. You also have a 2-second window, or 3-second window, I think it's 2, where you have to hit the opponents. And if they don't drop a special attack, or you hit them again in that 2-second window, you're very cooked. You're going to lose all your ramp and stuff. And it's so freaking infuriating. Especially because, like, the taunt usually works, but on the off chance it doesn't work, that's even more salt in the wound, whatever the phrase is. And like, it's just so annoying. You can also use the pod to save it, I guess, but if you're taking him in longer fights, you only get the pod manually once. And yeah, like, I don't hate him as much as I used to, genuinely. He's grown on me a little bit, but still, like, there's just so much rage that's built up on me with Adam over the years that I just don't want to even think about revisiting him anymore. Because I just don't want to try and then realize, oh yeah, actually, no, this guy was maybe my least favorite character 3 or 4 years ago, when I made those videos on him. Because I just hate his playstyle. I think it's really easy for the AI to just screw you over. And I think he's one of the more AI-dependent champions in the game. I'm not going to say he's the most AI-dependent champion in the game. I think that's just not true, but he is up there. But my number one. This is going to piss off a lot of people, and this is going to be one that I don't think many people are expecting, because I have not been very vocal about my hatred toward this character. And this character has an actual cult that is supporting him. Because there's not a single character in the game that I think has a bigger fan base compared to, like, people who just play the game normally. Where, like, there's a group of absolutely dedicated fans towards this character, and if you're not in that group, you don't even think about him. But unfortunately for me, I'm not in that dedicated fan base, but I think about him all the time because he builds so much rage inside of me. And so I'm so sorry to the people in this fan base. I actually am not picking him at number one because I dislike y'all. I just dislike everything that this character can do. My number one least favorite character and my most hated character in MCoC is Spider-Man 2099. And the simple reason why I think Spider-Man 2099 is my most hated character in MCoC is because the easiest way you can possibly rage bait me in MCoC terms is by showing me an Alliance War fight where Spider-Man 2099 wins the fight without landing a single hit on the opponent, and he just hits block for the entire fight. That is the easiest way that you could rage bait me in MCoC if for some reason you wanted to do that. And I know I'm probably going to get rage baited by saying this for the next year, because I've said this to the world. But if you show me an Alliance War fight where this guy wins without landing a single hit, I am just like, my day is just worse. Like, I am just mad for the next rest of the day, because it pisses me off so much. And you're going to ask, like, okay, but there's a lot of characters who win the fights just by hitting block. Yes, there are. None of them who gets much playtime as this guy, because he actually has utility pieces that make him worth taking to Alliance War. Whereas, like, Masakure, it's not worth taking him to Yondu. I'm sorry, taking him to Yondu. Jeez, that's another buy I was going to get to next. It's not worth taking him to War as much, because he doesn't have the utility pieces to support him going to take fights without landing hits. Spidey 99 does. He actually has a lot of utility pieces in his kit. And Yondu, another character with same example. I think Yondu does it less, like the whole just winning the fights with hitting block only playstyle. I don't think he does it as good as Spidey 99 does. And again, it's a lot of the fact that Spidey 99 actually has utility pieces to encourage this kind of playstyle. And so, yeah, if this guy didn't have the Anti-Venom synergy, I actually don't think I'd hate him. Because I think Anti-Venom synergy is kind of what makes him so infuriating. Because you just get the Wither up at the start of the fight, and it's GG's. And, like, he has the slow, he's got the buff immunity. He actually has reasons to make you take him to war and do a lot of crazy stuff with him. And if you play Spidey 99 normally, where you actually punch the opponent, I don't have any issues with it. If you play Spidey 99 and finish the fight with 0 hits, like, dealt to the opponent, that's when I'm actually pissed off. Like, if you do, like, the normal rotation that you probably could, where, like, hey, if you have the Wither on him, hit him into block sometimes. If you don't have the Wither, like, you build up Special 2 with basics and stuff, you throw the Exhaustion in, keep your Divos Paws, and do the Special 2 for burst damage, that's cool. Drop the Special 3 to get the utility piece and, like, add more burst damage on your Special 2, that's cool. Hitting block as the only thing you do the entire fight, that's so freaking uncool to me, and it's actually just rage baiting me every time I see it. So, yeah, that's my number 1 most hated character in MCoC, and it's not even, like, all the time. It's just when I see him win the fights with 0 hits land on the opponent, I'm genuinely more mad than I've ever been at watching an Alliance War fight. Or just, it's mainly Alliance War, because that's my favorite game mode. It's the game mode I pay most attention to and stuff like that. So yeah, anyway, that's my top 5 most hated characters in MCoC moment. Hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. Do let me know some of your picks and what you agree with from mine, what you disagree with mine. Yeah, no slander to the Spidey 99 players, because, like, there's no reason to slander you when you're abusing a game mechanic that's obviously helping your alliance out. I can't fault you for that, because if it's an easy way to win, then it's an easy way to win. And yeah, that's fair. So, anyway, thanks for watching the video, guys. I'll see you in the next one.